Dear Leo, I'm just wondering what it is you think of when you sleep at night. Because I know you've got those new roads, the cross-city tram and those cycle lanes for bikes. There's all these businesses opening and hundreds of cranes in the sky. The economy, it's seemingly growing to an all-time high, but what is it that you think about when you wrap up in bed so tight? Do you think about the people sleeping rough in two-man tents? Or the rack rents set by landlords with the sole intent of forcing people out with nowhere else to go, because, as I'm sure you know, there's a shortage of houses, and even though people are shouting, you don't seem to hear them. In fact, you ignore them and neglect them and make them feel like ghosts. See, what I hate the most is that you brag about a recovery being close and you raise up a glass and toast to how amazing you are and how amazing your government is, and you do this with ease as there's people dying in the street. When you sleep, do you ever think of these? How about Danielle Carroll? See, she was thrown out of her rental property in December, and let's remember that she also had two sons. One was 7 years, the other just 20 months. Her landlord sold the property and she was put on a housing list, stuck in a temporary hotel as if she didn't exist. But she was offered a place in Tala, a small little bungalow, and don't you know, she felt she could really give it a go. It was a new beginning, a fresh start as such. See, she didn't really want much, just a safe place to bring her boys up. And as her hope rose up, the council sent her a letter reneging on that offer. See, they had a new venue for her. One with a burnt out back door and people on the floor sleeping rough. The safety of her children seemed too much. Danielle pleaded with them that this would be the end of it. She felt that she was floating in this darkness. And when she said that this would kill her, all the council did was threaten her. They left her with no choice, at least in her mind, so she took her own life because she felt it was time. And as her two boys stay awake at night crying, should I tell them that their mother's death is due to the government's lack of trying? Have you ever asked a child in temporary housing what they've done the night before? See, I have. And I'm not going to rhyme this part because I want you to listen. Instead of going out with friends or staying in and playing with their Xbox, they said they went to bed early. Were you sick? I asked. No, they replied. There's nothing to do in a hotel room, so we'll just go to bed as early as I can. Imagine this was your plan. To live your life in your dreams because your reality is a nightmare. It's like one of those horror films I can't bear. You see, it's the lucky few who have a hotel to stay in. It's 24-hour McDonald's where other families try and bed in, or hostels where the word privacy doesn't exist. There's 3,000 children living in Ireland like this. So dear Leo, does all this make you proud? Because your Twitter feed seems to scream out loud about all the great changes you're making. And it wouldn't be like a politician to be faking or partaking what the world calls spin. Not to brag about the horrors that these children are in or change the topic of conversation cheekily. Well, there's people on the streets dying weekly, and your government hasn't even acknowledged that these people have died. Well, real leadership would drop everything else and try to plan a strong vision for these people. You sit at home and tweet out shit that's deceitful. We built 10 times more properties than we did in 2010. Really? Because you didn't really build that many houses back then. See, tenement housing is this terrible time and this terrible size to be questioning why that it's all happening again. It's like we look back at history and ripped out those pages. There's one room with 14 beds and one toilet. And don't get me started, because if there's a fire, there's only one exit. Or there's 3 generations of large families in a 1-bedroom flat. Now, not even you can put a spin on that. But me, I still think there's hope for you. To not be afraid, to be bold, to be brave, to be the one who history looks back on who saved his nation from crisis. So dear Leo, when you go to bed tonight, please, think of this.